I think the 2008 downfall really affected the world economy and definitely affected the Islamic banks. However, I believe that because of the type of the risk that the bank takes with the investor or with the customer, make the bank very careful in trying not only to um, be a partner, which we are not saying lend the money, but we're being a partner with the customer in terms of trying to find out if that person has good credit, but also make sure that the project is valuable project. It's a good project. That means there is security behind it. Which means that there is well defined project, and they become more of a partner in that project. Like I said, Senator Parker, when he introduced this bill, he did not. He's talking about not Muslims. He's talking in general. You have options, other options to be able to invest. So it's not only for. It's not the notion is not it's Islamic, then it's not good. It's Islamic. It's another choice that you have, and I think that it's a participation and contribution to the world economy, to development of world economy. So it doesn't have to be a Muslim institution. It doesn't have to be a Muslim investor. I think I think the benefit really it's great in terms of studying the market in terms of projects that are really well thought in terms of trying to have obviously the banks, for instance, they will share in the risk, which is something which is disadvantage to them. But at the same time, it will push those banks to study the market really well, and then it's beneficial to banks. They don't have to be Islamic. They can be non-Islamic banks, or also the investors. They don't have to be Muslims to invest on this. As a matter of fact, the GE issued, I think it's 500 million in Sukuk transaction for one of their project, and it's not a Muslim or Islamic project. It's more of they found that it was very interesting. It was more lucrative, and it was secure. I think Islamic finance is not based on a global transactions. I'm not a scholar to be able to tell you this bank is not following the Sharia, but I can tell you as someone who know about Islamic finance, I will say this to you: every transaction is different, and it's case by case basis. And whatever the bank is an Islamic bank, and if they call themselves Islamic banks and they have no Sharia-based Islamic bank, that is no Sharia Islamic transaction. That's simple. I give you an example. I am a lawyer and I do Islamic wills, I do estate planning, and I do no Islamic estate planning. But and based on the transaction, you will see if this is Islamic or not. And also there are the board or the council, and that they decide if this is. And I believe every bank, every institution, they have the advisors, Muslim advisors, that they are scholars, and they will tell them if this transaction is good or not. And obviously opinions are very diverse, from liberal to conservative and something in the middle. It's really tough. It is very hard topic, and you find a lot of controversies obviously out there. But isn't that ijtihad? I mean, I was talking to my dear brother Munim. We were talking about this, and he said, "Isn't that great? Isn't that development of Sharia Islamic finance? Is that when there are a difference of opinion, that's ijtihad, and that's created more, and that's a development of Islamic finance." I really think it's not. There is no global enforcement mechanism in Sharia Islamic, Sharia compliant Islamic finance. It's it's a moral obligation. Really, it is when you look at it. I mean, so many people voluntarily they decide to go into Sharia because they think that they fulfill their religious obligation. And you don't find a lot of countries that they have that. I think the only country that you can see that's more aggressive in enforcing they establish their board. I think the Malaysia. It's the only country that they believe that they are pursuing that. But I think even I don't believe I'm not sure. I might be wrong, but even in Saudi Arabia, I think you don't have a enforcement mechanism in terms of you have opinions if this is good or not, but the enforcement mechanism at the global level does not exist. But also, it's case by case basis also, as far as opinions are given, and if they choose to go ahead with that, I don't think anyone can prevent them from doing that except their moral obligation and the opinion they get from the scholars. Like I said in the beginning, I mean, there is, it's 2010, it was $800 billion in terms of Islamic finance. It did really have a good share in trying to participate in economic development. And look at Malaysia. I mean, look at these countries. Look at Saudi Arabia. The wealth coming from these countries as a result of Islamic finance transactions. And look at how it's spreading. It's spreading over Europe. France now they're saying that they're going to issue the first sukuk in 2011. It's spreading. I mean, in England, in Germany, in Canada, here in the United States. So I think you can see it has a share, and it will definitely participate in terms of economic development, and it is participating in economic development. And I think the economic downfall in 2008 just explains that. I can't give you the exact. I mean, we're still in recovery. I can give you the exact answer. Obviously, it really did affect the Islamic institutions. Definitely, the because the war. I mean, don't forget we are the world economy. It's global, but also we are closer and closer. If economy of a country is being affected, it will affect the whole world. And specifically, where we're talking about the countries like in the United States, like in Europe, obviously will affect others. So I think I don't think there is recovery is not there yet, but I think the Islamic countries who participate and deal with Islamic finance, they have not been as affected as countries such as United States and Europe.